Hi y'all, it's Abby. Today I'm going to be telling you about the big three of powerlifting, which are going to be squat, bench, and deadlift in that order. So starting with squat, you're going to first want to either set a plate down to put your heels on a plate or invest in powerlifting shoes that already have that elevation and a really stable base. You're going to want this to allow your knees to travel in front of your ankles and aid in ankle mobility for the squat to reach depth. So once you have your heels on a plate or you have your shoes on, you place the barbell on your back. So we're going to show you how to do that right here. So here I'm going to set up for a high bar squat by having narrow hands and setting it right there on my traps. Next, low bar, hands are a little wider, sitting on my rear delts. Then re-racking it. High bar on your traps is going to allow you to stay more upright in the squat, targeting more quads, while a low bar on your rear delts is going to allow you to target more glutes and hamstrings, which you're going to be able to push more weight with that. So majority of people powerlifting are going to hit low bar unless they struggle with mobility issues to which they can't hold it on their back that way. So low bar is optimal for pushing the most weight. Now I'm showing you visually the difference between high bar and low bar. High bar, you see I'm very upright, targeting more quad. I'm going to re-rack it and show you low bar. As you can see, I'm more bent forward, which creates more of a hinge in your hips, targeting glutes. After you unrack it, you're just going to hinge your hips back and bend at the knees. So it's a backward hinge, and then you bend your knees until your hip crease is below your knees. So contrary to popular belief, like it's not a 90-degree angle. Full depth is not 90 degrees. It has to be less than that because you have to break parallel where your hip crease is below your knees. Here is a correct squat where now I changed into my lifting shoes. As you can see, my knees are traveling forward. My hips are going below my knees. Now, this is what we're not going to do. This is not a squat. Disclaimer, this is not a squat. Sorry if I got a little too passionate about hitting depth, but I do mean it. So I don't want to see any of y'all half squatting any longer. Now you know that you have to break parallel and put your butt to the ground. Okay, moving on to the bench press. I find this one pretty simple. You're just going to lay down on the bench with your eyes directly under the bar, then create a small arch in your back by contracting your shoulder blades together and still keeping your butt on the bench, because what we're not going to do is do a whole back bend on the bench. So we're going to contract our shoulder blades, create a small arch, and keep ourselves tight. Then we're going to grab the bar a little outside shoulder width. Make sure our wrists are straight. To help your wrists being straight, you could wear wrist straps. That just helps your joints and keeps your wrists from bending backwards. So make sure your wrists are straight, then you unrack it. Make sure you still maintain that tightness when you unrack it. Touch the bar to your chest and push up. Okay, now I'm going to give you a visual representation. So here I am. Notice how my arch is very small. It's just to maintain tightness. When I unrack the bar, I'm still maintaining that tightness, touching my chest and pushing up. We don't want to bounce it off of our chest. We want to have a slight pause and push up. There you go. Last but not least is the deadlift, my personal favorite movement. Just hit 295. Had to plug that in, so I think that I'm qualified to tell you about this lift. It's a full body pull movement. It's going to hit your whole posterior chain, which is all of your back muscles. You're going to want a belt for this, a lifting belt, because you're trying to pull as much as you can off the ground. So a lifting belt just helps you brace against, tightens your core. You're also going to want it for squat, but I didn't demonstrate that. I did demonstrate beltless and not beltless for the deadlift, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you what I do. To set up, I'm going to have my feet shoulder width apart, bend down with a straight back. I'm opting for an alternating grip, which just makes your grip stronger and enables you to pull more weight. So here's beltless. Now with a belt, you're going to do the same thing, just strap yourself in, and it's just going to make your whole core tighter and your back, making it feel much lighter. Now here's a side angle to see the angle of my back, then you're just going to pull up. As you see, I have no shoes on because you want to have a stable, flat base when you pull.